tougher. In round 5, we see 8 players eliminated from the competition. 8 players will also go through into the knockout stages as well. And of course, we have players at 2 and 2 who will just try and be fighting to get one step closer to the knockout stages as well.
Well, it's going to be proownez who's got the first attack of the game going forward here. Vieira slides it back in towards R9, who was lurking dangerously around the penalty spot there. And a vital interception just comes in at the right time for Herozia, the Frenchman.
Really is amazing that we've seen Marcelo dropped from pretty much every team now, seeing Varane there at left back. Dumfries really has just allowed that manipulation of the back four to really change, so you don't have to play an attacking fullback in Marcelo. And it means it's just a lot more of a defensive option. But sometimes you do see Varane just hurtling up the pitch. I get a little bit scared personally, because I'm like, just stay back. Help the defense, please.
Obviously, with the new season foot items, it's not just defensively as well. They do still give you those attacking statistics that you need to be going forward. I mean, look at what #Harry's been doing. He's actually been dropping Ruud Gullit into that fullback position, moving that team of the season, João Cancelo, up into that midfield position. So it just shows that they are all rounded now. They have those physical attributes to really do a job, either going back or going forward.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these foot items are very versatile, and we kind of say that with the Team of the Year cards, with the Team of the season foot items as well, you can pretty much play them anywhere. Maybe not in goal, but saying that, from some of the goalkeeping performance I've seen from the likes of Schmeichel, maybe you want to try Gullit in goal once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, maybe he's got the height to maybe do a job there, but back into the game now. No real big chances to speak of so far. You can see both of the players in the left-hand side of your screen and the right-hand side of your screen. Complete and utter focus. And I always find it fascinating to see what players use the headset, what players got to take in the ambience of the arena that we're playing in right now instead.
A lot of questions were asked prior to this event about Herozia as well, because if you look at how he got his Global Series ranking points, it was from the E-Club World Cup. It was from a 2v2 event, so he had a teammate there to play with, and a lot of the tournament was based on those 2v2 scenarios. So a lot of questions were, how is he going to perform in the 1v1 situations? Is he going to be able to have as much success? Well, at 1 and 3, I guess those questions may have been answered early, but who knows? Maybe he's going to come back into things now.
And Herozia, unfortunately, last year at the playoffs, you know, circumstances out of his hands meant that he didn't make it towards that E-World Cup final, but he is looking to put that right, and it would be a fantastic story to see Herozia come back and see the Frenchman fire himself into a grand finals. But his proownez here is trying to get around the outside of Virgil van Dijk, but once again, like a lot of pros have been saying, Virgil van Dijk, that team of the season or the player of the year for Iron, probably one of the best centre-backs we've ever seen in the FIFA franchise.
On the other side to Herozia is, of course, proownez, who got here with early performances where he performed well. I mean, came top 8 in Foot Champions Cup November, but then we saw the meta changes develop, and then when we next saw him, it was top 32.
Well, here's a chance here of Van Dijk again. Has to just cut across R9. He's looking to unleash a shot at goal. Haven't really seen any particular clear-cut chance at all. Not even a shot on goal from either player at the moment. And maybe it's going to be proownez who's looking to put that right. The physical battle between Ronaldo and Dumfries ends up with Ronaldo coming away with the ball, but Dumfries, it looked a little bit skeptical. Maybe a penalty could have been called for it.
I feel like I've seen penalties like that actually given, but now Dumfries can head up the other side of the pitch and now get aggressive. And you're right, it's been a very scrappy battle in the middle, Mark. Both players have been defending well, though, in the final third.
Well, here's Neymar for Herozia. Strong tackle in the midfield. Gullit and Vieira coming together. It's the immovable force against the irresistible object, or something like that. I don't know the exact ins and outs. Sound a little bit like Mike LaBelle there.
Or Richard Buckley. I mean, they both go down some very strange routes that I don't really want to follow, but it does happen. And you know, when we look at two players like this, and we look at their situation and their chances of getting to the E-World Cup, for proownez, realistically, again, he's in one of those situations where he'd probably need to be in the top 2. He needs to get to a grand final to really give himself a good chance. Have we seen enough in this tournament for him to display those characteristics, those possibilities? Have we seen enough throughout the season to suggest that he could do that? I would say my opinion is probably no, but you never know what can happen in a tournament. We have seen the kind of underdog just come to in the latter stages. At 1 and 3 in Swiss, you're still not out. You still have a chance. You can still go on a run.
Really is a case now of not making any more mistakes. No room for error. R9 now turns onto that left foot. Can't beat the block of the defender, though. Managed to get his body in the way, and now Herozia looking to counter-attack himself. A beautiful little drag back there from Neymar, but just a little bit of physical contact in the midfield. Just let that ball just fall into that area of contention for Patrick Vieira in midfield. He won it back. You see both players defending very deep as well, Dan. It's kind of a case of who's going to break down the defense first here.
I feel like proownez is starting to look a little frustrated as well, trying to take some long shots because he's not being able to work the ball into the box maybe as much as he would like. And I'd say that he just needs to kind of stick with his game plan, try and get that ball a little bit further into the box, maybe go a little bit wider, try and spread this defense of Herozia rather than trying to direct things through the middle, because it's really not working at the moment. He's sitting on the edge of the box and then he's just letting it fly when realistically it's not going to go in from there.
And again, don't think we've had any real shots on target so far in this first half as we are approaching the end of the first 45 minutes in this first leg. And going back to what we were talking about before the game even kicked off, Dan, when that chance comes, even in a game as tight as this with what's on the line, that chance becomes all the more difficult to find the back of the net. Maybe it's going to be Herozia here who can find that first chance. Neymar into Vieira. Is a bit of space here for Ruud Gullit. Is he going to let go? He goes with the cricketer. Falls back to R9, but can't get round the attentions of Vieira.
It's a good effort, but again, just bodies in the way for both of these players. As you mentioned earlier, very deep defending from them both. A little bit of nerves coming into play. And you can see one shot on either side, possession fairly even as well. And I think that happens when you are a little bit nervous, when you're a little bit scared to give the ball away, suddenly you're not playing your natural FIFA game plan. I mean, I was speaking to #Ryan earlier, and I said, look, in your first game where you lost today, you didn't look like your natural self. And he said, it's because I was scared, and I didn't want to lose the ball because of that. He said that once I got that mindset of, actually, I can win every game, I suddenly started playing a lot better.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, both of these players right now know that they cannot lose, and they're playing to not lose. They're not playing to win the game, as you say. They're not willing to take that risk, to see that fullback on the overlap who might create that chance. It's all about looking to find that one chance and then hold on to the lead.
I feel like both of them are just waiting for their opponent to make a mistake rather than trying to force that mistake out of their opponent. And really, it could come down to whoever actually just pulls that trigger first, whoever says, actually, I want to win this game. I don't want to go out of this tournament.
Or also, who makes that mistake first? There's always that chance as well. So both players putting a lot of pressure on themselves at the moment. Vieira now tries to find the ball out wide there, but flashback Alexandro makes the interception, and now proownez can come forward again. Lovely little McGeady spin inside there. Managed to nutmeg the player as well. proownez known as well for some of those skill moves that he pulls out of the bag, but Patrick Vieira's having absolutely none of that in the midfield and wins the ball back here for Herozia.
Really have to take advantage of those kind of situations. When you get a little bit fortunate with a skill move and you're able to beat that man and you have 4 or 5 players flooding forward, you have to make a penetrative pass. Otherwise, you're just going to be punished by your opponent. We need to see a little bit more risk taken from both of these guys.
Well, Varane's just managed to pick the ball up here. And there is a little bit of a space here for Kylian Mbappe to attack. You can see proownez is desperately trying to get back into position there, actually dragging R9 out to try and cover that space. Here's Ronaldo, though. Herozia looking dangerous. Is this going to be the chance he needs? No, Vieira swings a leg at it and desperately gets it away.
Left-footed dreams. You never thought anyone was getting there. That looked like a clear-cut chance for Herozia, but again, we have to just give credit to the positioning from proownez, making sure that he had a player there to block it.
What a ball that is, though, in Eusebio.
Oh,
he has got the pace to get there just ahead of his man. Maybe looking to get that ball into the air, maybe looking for a little scoop cross, but going to elect instead to play this one through the middle of the pitch. Ronaldo gets the ball into the air, goes for the shot on the volley, doesn't get the timing right, and that one's high, wide, and not very handsome.
No, definitely into Rosed. If you are just joining us, both of these players are currently 1 and 3 in the Swiss. And just to give you an update of other players who are also in that bracket, Marcus Gomes, Denuso, Gabri, Sanchez, Jablet, Dragon, some really big names throughout FIFA 19 who are potentially going to be eliminated.
Just stolen this ball, though. He's got a little bit lucky, and Ronaldo with a cricketer goes their post. First chance, first goal, and it's Herozia who takes the lead.
And it's about time that someone was able to just get that little bit of space, and you saw that tiny bit of goalkeeper movement. Van der Sar just moving slightly to his left, and proownez saw it. And that's just going to be 1-0 now. I feel like when you get given an opportunity like that, you have to take it. Otherwise, you're going to be punished. So Herozia with the lead. And proownez has to come back, even though he saw the shot. He wasn't able to stop it, 'cause he just went the other way.
Just a little mistake in defense to give the ball away in that dangerous position. And 65 minutes on the clock before we had our first clear-cut opportunity. And we were talking about how important, when it came, it was going to be clinical. And Herozia waiting for the goalkeeper movement, as you say, and greened it as well, Dan. Nerves are still in that situation.
And when we look at other games that we've seen today, I mean, we saw like an 11-7 game, I think, in the last round. You can see how closely contested these two players are, despite the disparity between their rankings in the global series. I mean, 45th versus 18th. You'd think this would be an easy game.
Well, here's Neymar trying to squeeze it through the frame of Patrick Vieira. I'll let you know when that happens for the first time in FIFA 19, because the Frenchman is just so good at covering that ground. And now Herozia has that little bit of breathing room, has that pressure off his shoulders just for a few moments. R9 turning back inside. Great ball across, and Mbappe is in all sorts of space. But Varane uses his pace and his physical attributes to get back in and make that tackle at the last second.
Absolutely huge as well. proownez definitely needed that.
Well, here's Eusebio then turning back inside there. Almost managed to get away from his man.
When we have games like this that are very closely contested, it can run away for one player.
Heel to heel here from Ronaldo. Almost used a couple of step overs and a body feint to just get inside his man. But again, Herozia, he's been timing those last-ditch tackles very, very well so far in this game.
Yeah, Herozia has a chance to run away with it because everything's going to open up a little bit more now. proownez is naturally going to be going forward a lot more, which is going to leave his defence more subjectable to a little bit more pressure.
Well, here's Vieira. Look to fire that ball into Neymar. Gets the ball back here. Beautiful stuff from Ronaldo. An equally magnificent save there from Edwin van der Sar. Corner here for Herozia. Scoops it up. Eusebio does the defensive work.
Herozia comes so close now to doubling his lead, but proownez is held strong, and there is so much room for a through ball there.
Oh, and he's found Neymar as well. Maybe not quite enough pace on the ball to give him a clear run at goal, but still an opportunity going forward here. Gives the ball away, though. Can't find the man out wide, and now you just see this game has burst to life.
And you can see how FIFA 19 is just about these minuscule decisions. If he had gone for an over-the-top through ball there was a possibility Neymar could have latched onto it, but then, of course, the keeper comes into the equation as well if he had been brought out. So he decided, I'm going to go for a through ball. It seems the most sensible option, but just didn't quite apply enough pressure, enough power onto the button. It just meant Neymar couldn't get onto it.
Whipped into the box here, and Sandro has to defend. Cristiano Ronaldo was breathing down his neck there towards the back post, wins it back high up the pitch here. Herozia back in, and it's a fantastically worked goal. And it has been a game of few chances, but both of them have been put away by that man on your screen.
Yeah, more chances certainly for Herozia. Now he can start to look at closing this game out. It is only leg 1 of 2, of course. And proownez will have his coach behind him, who have his thoughts and his feelings of what's gone wrong in this game, and he can then try and inject that into leg number 2.
I really just feel after that first goal, the shackles have just come off of Herozia. It was like almost a deep sigh. It was like, oh, I got that first goal. Everything's great now. And he's starting to play that more of that flowing football. Yes, he has been granted a little bit more space to do so, but it just feels like he's found his game a little bit.
And he needed to. I mean, if he didn't find his game, he was out of this competition, so it's about time. But maybe proownez can get something back in this first leg.
Well, here's R9. Croquetta's away from one, goes near post, just like that. The score, the deficit is halved. One goal now between the two players. Perfect way to answer back.
And once again, it's that 2-0 lead that never seems to stay, it never seems to stick. We've seen so many late goals in first legs. Well, we've seen people come back into it and set it as 2-1 going into that second leg. 89th minute goal. But from kickoff, maybe a chance to make it 3-1 here. Just hold the ball and then push up and get the last attack of the game.
There will be a minimum of 2 minutes.
And Herozia has possession, so he has the chance to maybe just see this game out, or is he going to look for a third here to restore that lead? Hullet back into R9, but he kind of been bumped over in the process of that move being built. CR7, Neymar, chance to strike it. He greened it, and he might get a second bite of the cherry here. Goes across goal. Van der Sar has to get down. R9 keeps it in. Pressure still here for Herozia. Mbappe, drag backs all over the shop. It's fallen to Neymar. proownez can't get it away.
What's happening?
And the ball has fallen to Herozia. And finally he puts it away. But for proownez, you have to feel for him there.
I mean, I'm lost for words because it just seemed like everything was going against him there. Trying to clear the ball, it bounces off one defender, hits another defender, hits the striker, and then suddenly the goal that he got back is snatched away from him viciously and cruelly, and the 2-goal lead is once again secured for Herozia.
Even Van der Sar with the save. I mean, he just tipped it. It doesn't go out of play.
Residing in 18th place. I mean, actually, if he were to lose here, if proownez were to overcome this comeback, I think everyone around this kind of 17th to 24th area is just going to be screaming at the top of their lungs saying, hey, this is good. We're seeing more people around us eliminated. I actually have a chance to get to the E-World Cup.
And that belief is contagious. As you say, everyone will be thinking, hey, we can do this. There's still that chance. It's kind of up to all those players outside of the top 16 to almost work as a collective in hunting down those players that are holding down those places. Hullet will be offside here. As Van der Sar casually saves that one without using his hands, but a chance here from the start, just a little change of kits here for proownez, and he will be playing now in the, I'm going to call that turquoise.
I'm okay with that. Maybe aqua.
Also works. But it's going to be Herozia now in that Vitality kit, obviously plays for Team Vitality, looking to release CR7, and there's two of the strongest foot items on the game, Ronaldo and Virgil van Dijk coming together, and this time it's the Dutchman who brings the ball away. It
was really interesting. I mean, you speak of the fact he plays for Vitality at the E-Club World Cup. He didn't represent Vitality. Instead, his partners in the team, the likes of Maestro and Rafsu, they represented Vitality, and then Herozia went on to outplace them, finishing second in that tournament. Maybe that was when he re-signed the contract for Vitality. That remains to be seen.
It's a fantastic performance for him representing Dijon. And now Herozia can build an attack again. It's a bit more of a similar pattern to what we saw in that first leg so far. 11 minutes gone, maybe. This is the chance that he needs. A little spin back inside. Tries to squeeze it between Ramos and Varane there. And now there's space to attack. And you can see there's a couple of players potentially out of position here who had been attacking. Varane's managed to get back in. However, a loose pass here has just presented the ball back to Herozia.
I don't know if I want to call it a loose pass or maybe just a little bit too much time on the ball from proownez. He's done that quite a lot now. He'll try and beat the oncoming defensive midfielder rather than just playing a simple pass backwards and playing it a little bit safer. But I will say that I wanted to see risks, so I'll accept it. He does have to take those risks. If he gets that skill move, if he beats that man, suddenly he's going to have space in front of him. So I can appreciate it and appreciate the fact he's trying.
That's beautiful, just baiting those runs outside there. And then the little drag back, change of direction after the first initial drag back, just to hit the space with Ruud Hullet. Ball's going to fall here to Neymar. Ronaldo, big chance, it's Sergio Ramos who's getting forward. Maybe not the man you want in that kind of situation, but Vieira's kept hold of possession here. Great tackle, though, from Neymar. And now there's space for the Brazilian to march into. Varane desperately trying to get back. Couple of accelerated fake shots. Leaves Varane for dead there. R9 now. Herozia trying to recycle. And again, defensive work again from Neymar. He's doing a job at the moment for proownez.
Yeah, proownez just needs to do a similar thing, but hope that someone else is on the end of the ball, not Sergio Ramos. I guess that is one of the downsides of playing the likes of Ramos and Varane at those fullback positions instead of the likes of Cancelo or Marcelo, who are very attacking-minded players.
Well, here's Hullet then for proownez. He just can't find that final pass in and around the edge of the box. You can see what he's trying to do. Just trying to beat one of those CDMs before he can start firing in those triangle-based passes, looking to play in to the striker and then out wide afterwards. Just can't quite find that final piece of the puzzle at the moment.
Yeah, Herozia has just been phenomenal with his central defensive midfielders, especially with Vieira. He's positioned him fantastically.
He's got space here as well. Cristiano Ronaldo into Ruud Hullet. Defence has managed to find a little bit of organisation. However, Van der Sar quickly off his line, and proownez just immediately turns defence into attack here.
And that's what he needs to do. And there is a ball through the middle, but he opts to go outright instead. At least he's got several options going forward.
Flicks the ball up in towards the back post. Ronaldo versus Dumfries. And that's why he's in there, 6'2", and he loves to head a ball.
I've got to say, we haven't seen as many back post headers this tournament, and I wonder if that is because of the inclusion of the likes of Dumfries, the likes of Da Costa as well at those full-back positions. People are having to switch things up and try different methods to get the ball in the back of the net, and personally, I love it.
Neymar then, space here for Herozia. Mbappe, heel to heel inside the box, fires it back in towards R9. And proownez here, again, with a chance to counter-attack. Neymar gets it back off Mbappe. A deep defensive line here from Herozia, but he's been exposed a little bit here.
That's so unfortunate.
But after the Elastico, it looked like he just lost control of the player.
Yeah, I think that is literally just something that happens occasionally. It's really unfortunate. He's done the skill move perfectly, but of course, player statistics come into mind.
Well, here's Neymar then looking to add a little bit of pain towards the end of this play. Mbappe. Just a little half drag back there. Maybe he was looking for a scoop turn to complete that little combo. A little loose pass here, and this is what cost proownez the first goal in the first game. Neymar now! Went for a very similar finish at that near post, but this time proownez gets away with it.
Yeah, trying to bait the goalkeeper once again, but then ball rolling to the left and taking the shot. Not timed green, though, so it wasn't on target. Might have stuck into the corner if he had of. But that's certainly going to be a wake-up call to proownez to say, I cannot afford to make these mistakes of passing the ball to these central midfielders, because if I do, I am very vulnerable at the back.
You can see at the moment, Herozia is just playing a very, very deep defensive line. He's got so many players behind the ball. But proownez does have the skill moves up his sleeve to beat one of those players.
Yeah, step-overs with Vieira is an interesting one, though.
Neymar now out wide. I feel like maybe he just has to move the ball a little bit quicker. Here's Ronaldo. Now you're going to see that passing play start to come to life. Vieira, much better here from proownez. Ronaldo, the Cruyff turn back inside, just looking for that space. Mbappe now just again. Reluctance to pull the trigger, but he gets a second by the cherry. Make it 3 now. And finally, Herozia can get the ball away.
Vieira and Huller every single time. proownez is waiting and waiting to try and get that pass into the final third, into that box, but he's being stopped at the line every single time. And we saw this happen in the early stages of the first leg, and he was just shooting from distance because he was getting frustrated. At least now he's being slightly resilient, and he's still trying to attempt to get that ball into the box, but he's had no shots in this game. If he wants to come back into it, you gotta take some shots. He is in such a damned if he does, damned if he doesn't situation, because if he plays the pass, he's giving the ball away. If he shoots, it's just going to collide with Vieira or Hullet, and he's going to give the ball away. So there needs to be something different. As I wanted earlier, spread the ball a little bit more. Use your width and then try and attack from the edge of the box rather directly through the middle.
So then, proownez, 45 minutes left to save your season, to keep your dreams alive of an E-World Cup final appearance. And the same can be said, of course, for Herozia. Both these players coming into this game 1 and 3 in the Swiss format. And again, Dumfries is up. Ronaldinho on the pitch now in one of those wide cam areas, playing that 4-2-2 formation now, proownez as well. Almost managed to find a ball back into the middle. But Herozia now, 40 minutes away, Dan, from staying alive.
And if he is playing 4-2-2, I mean, this could really be a very exciting and fast-paced ending towards this game, because he's going to have 2 strikers who are going to be making those runs through the middle, but then he's also going to be able to utilize that width that I was saying he needs to be using, which is going to drag out a couple of players from the middle, and it's going to be easier for him to actually break his way into that box. He's just going to have more bodies going forward, and it's going to be more difficult for Herozia to try and defend that.
You just feel another goal here for Herozia as well, and this is pretty much game over with the lack of creativity that we've seen from proownez, which is such a strange thing to say from such an attacking-minded player. We should give a huge amount of credit, though, to the way that Herozia has defended, Dan.
Yeah, the thing is, he is creative with his skill moves. I mean, he's trying to beat the man. He's exciting to watch. However, he's being stumped at the final hurdle every single time, and he just doesn't seem to have a backup plan.
On towards that back post, Sandro gets across. Ball falls to Sandro once more, so he can spread the ball out wide to Ronaldo, and now the man from Portugal can start an attack here. Ronaldinho's making a run in behind. Good defensive line, though. Those 5-star skill combinations coming out again. Can't find that clinical pass.
And it's great that he's able to beat one man on the pitch with a really interesting skill move. But if he could do that at the other end, if he could do that on the final man, suddenly he's going to be looking at clear-cut opportunities. So he needs to try and work the ball into a position where he can actually utilize his skill set and better chances.
Well, here's Mbappe and Neymar on the edge of the box now. Herozia with a real chance to almost finish off his opponent and finish off his season, not just his tournament. Sloppy there from proownez, having won the ball back.
Yeah, a bit sloppy indeed. And Herozia, you've got to feel that he's going to be itching to try and put this game to bed.
Great ball to Mbappe as well. He's inside the 18-yard box. Have to be so careful jumping into tackles. If you're Pro-Owns in this kind of situation, you need the ball back, but you can't afford to be giving away a penalty.
Yeah, we're getting to that stage of the game now where Herozia is going to start to look at the clock and say, I can start to eat away at the time a bit. I have a 2-goal cushion. I've got something to work with. But every single attack Pro-Owns has, he knows he needs to get a goal. He needs to make something of it.
Oh, there's a chance here. Vieira on his right foot goes inside. And you could see why he wanted that extra pass. Patrick Vieira sometimes not the player that you trust in those positions to finish. But I think he's just got to pull the trigger there.
I think you pull the trigger. I can understand him playing the extra pass, but he has been guilty of overplaying the ball throughout this entire game, and maybe he's just kind of stuck in his own ways right now.
Well, here's Ronaldinho, little flip-flap, a little roulette. R9 now, finds Eusebio. There's one. One goal pulled back here for Pro-Owns. And maybe that's the spark that could reignite the fire.
Finally, his persistence pays off. Finally, some of the skill moves allow to generate a little bit of space on that right-hand side to get that clear-cut opportunity that he's been searching for so long throughout these 2 legs. And there we go. He's back in the game, and suddenly that's going to give him that tiny bit of confidence of, okay, I still have a chance here.
And now you're seeing those changes come in from Herozia. I think he had a pause cue just before that goal went in. Maybe he was looking at a change of formation, but I mean, you look at the aggregate score now, Dan, and just, you know, you click your fingers and it's 1 goal. It's a completely different game now. It's 1 chance is all Pro-Owns needs to equalize in this game, to send the game potentially towards extra time. Herozia now the man on the back foot. Herozia now the man maybe questioning throwing this one away.
Herozia now the man who's thinking, oh, Lord, I'm in 18th place and I could be throwing this away here. I could be throwing away my chance of the E-World Cup if I don't hold on to this victory. I had this game in the bag. I had a 2-goal lead. And then suddenly that kind of gets taken away from you. We'll see how he responds, though.
Pro-Owns still has to score. We have to remind ourselves here. Stays like this. There's only one man going through, and straight away, Eusebio has restored the safety net. And that's a big moment. Big moment there for season.
Pro-Owns looks towards his coach and says, what did I do wrong? I thought I pressed the tackle button. But Herozia, he found that little tiny ounce of hope from Pro-Owns, and he kind of plucked it away now as he regains that 2-goal lead, and he should be heading further on into this Swiss phase.
He's won the ball back from the restart as well. That's such a huge thing to do when you're trying to hold on to a lead. However, you've got to keep defending and Ruud. He's just everywhere. We always say, who's going to be the man to finally replace Ruud? Who's going to be the man to take Vieira out of the team? Well, when that player comes along, he's going to have to certainly be a special kind of foot item.
Do you know who I think? Yaya Toure. He'd be a great icon.
Good potential shout here, but Herozia looking to really finish this one off, and it's Vieira.
Oh,
full roll!
There's the difference. There is the difference. Patrick Vieira through on goal, confident in front of goal, simple ball roll. Bish bash bosh, game over. On the other side, when Pro-Owns was through on goal with Patrick Vieira, he was reluctant to take a shot. He was reluctant to show anything for Patrick Vieira, tried to play it across, and he was punished because of it. Herozia now, 3-goal advantage. He'll move to 2 and 3 in the Swiss. So he's still alive, and he still has a chance at that E-World Cup.
As crazy as I sound, there's still time in this game. If he can find a goal from the restart here, there might have been a chance, but you just feel this could be, unfortunately, the end of what has been a long road this season for Pro-Owns. I think every time that we do, unfortunately, Dan, lose a player as far as the E-World Cup conversation is concerned, we should take a few moments to just kind of give them plaudits for what they have achieved this season, because it's been so tough to even qualify for an event.
Finishing in the top 60 in the Global Series rankings is a massive achievement, and it's something that we will, I'm sure, talk about when we come into FIFA 20 and we start to see Pro-Owns play. We'll be like, yeah, okay, well, he was able to get to the playoffs. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get any further, but maybe he can go a little bit of the extra mile in FIFA 20. But his FIFA 19 season, unfortunately, is going to end here.
Certainly still one of the best in the world at what he does. Herozia will give away a free kick here, I believe, so maybe a chance for Pro-Owns to find a consolation goal to finish his season on somewhat of a high. Give the people at home something to cheer about. Little 3-point spin there inside the box. There's the ball Lifted up into the air, but can't find the space for the volley. But for Herozia, like I was mentioning, it'll be a fantastic story to see him pull off what would be a miraculous run towards the finals.
Yep, he keeps himself alive and he has a chance. And to be fair, you say miraculous, I mean, okay, he's down 1-3 in Swiss, he's about to go 2-3, but his position in the Global Series means that if he gets out of Swiss, then he puts himself in a phenomenal chance to actually get to the E-World Cup. So he just needs to focus on these next few games and ensure that he gets the victories, and we might see his name when we get to the E-World Cup.
Oh, Neymar! That's a naughty way to finish things off. Beautiful timed finish from distance. And that is just a goal that books another round of Swiss in the books for Herozia. He'll keep on going.
And unfortunately, I don't think the scoreline actually represents the game and how well proownez approached it. Yes, okay, he got frustrated in the final third and he wasn't maybe able to play the game of FIFA 19 he wanted to play. However, he put up a fantastic fight against an incredible player who currently is very high in the Global Series rankings. But there we have it. proownez eliminated from the competition. No chance of getting to the E-World Cup. However, Herozia, the dream is still just about alive.
And I just want to reiterate as well, a huge congratulations to proownez for everything that